And away we go. Here we go. Yep, me and the super duper doggy Ketsi, whom you haven't seen yet. She's shy sometimes. She's here with me doing security, checking the perimeter, wherever she is. Hey, thanks for coming. Thank you. Thank you for coming. It's going to be good. It's going to be really good today. I'm telling you, it's going to be good today. Yeah, it is. So, here we are. Where are we? Season 3, Episode 7. Season 3, Episode 7. There was some confusion on the last one, which I just did not very long ago. I thought it was Episode 5, and it was actually Episode 6. Yes, that's what I did. I'll have to do some editing to fix that, I suppose. I don't think you guys overly are concerned about that. I don't think. So, Series 3, Episode 7. I could recap. If this is your first episode, folks, thank you so much for joining us today on the YouTube, however we say that. Thank you for coming. Really, genuinely. This is not the greatest place to start, though. So I will say, as a disclaimer, today's stuff is going to be pretty deep, kind of heady, kind of a little bit out there. If you haven't wrapped your head around and started implementing the things that we've covered to this point through Series 1 and Series 2 and the previous 6 episodes of Series 3. It's heavy duty, folks. It's super heavy duty. So what I suggest is vehemently go back to Series 1, Episode 1, and start there. And then work your way up here. It'll be worth your while, trust me, because today will make way more sense, okay? Otherwise, you're going to be going, what's this guy on about? What's he on about? Yeah. Did you hear that jingle? Or am I hearing phantom jingles? Just puppy alert, that's all. So that's what I suggest to do. Okay, thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Everybody else, welcome back to today's episode. So we've been working on superpowers. Yeah, that's what we're doing in a superpower kind of way. We are reading and experiencing some of the most earth-shaking information relative to the human race. And that sounds awful grandiose. I know, except it's not. It's just true. Look, I'm not even kidding. This stuff is true. We've seen examples throughout the history of the world of people doing incredible things. Jesus Christ of Nazareth being the prime example. Look, if you can find somebody who can outdo what Jesus of Nazareth did, good luck with that. Please show me. Please. And look, the hardcore apologists and secular humanists and all kinds of historians have done everything they can to disprove that he was alive and he was real and the things that didn't happen. And look, they have failed in every way, not getting into that today. But it is impossible to prove or disprove the reality of the things that we're talking about today. Now, within the general culture of what Jesus taught, us being his students, there's a lot of different guys and a lot of different things to say about a lot of different things, right? So I think personally, whatever we can do to maximize the things that he taught us and implement them properly in our lives, we're making history over here, okay? Thank you. I think she might have found a foreigner. She's guarding the perimeter. Well done. Awful noisy though. Don't make me put you on camera. I know. I tried once. She's like, nah, I don't want to. And I said, okay, fine. Anyway, so look, we are shaking the tree. We are making some moves. We are looking to maximize the human potential, which is, of course, as Jesus said, well, why don't you just be like me, because I want you to. Be like your Father in heaven, because I want you to. Well, how do I do that? That's impossible. Well, he says it's not impossible because he made everything and he'll make it possible. Okay, I'm all for that then. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, I will say yes to that. So that's what we're doing. This whole channel is dedicated to studying these aspects of Catholicism, which is just Christianity. If you're a modern Christian, you probably don't know a lot about all that, and the ruckus that happened back in the 1600s, with Luther and the gang. But everything that we understand in modern Christianity outside of Catholicism is Catholicism, or it's Catholicism tweaked in ways that it maybe shouldn't be tweaked. That's up for discussion, but that's the general consensus. We're just studying Catholicism. Some folks will be like, "Oh, no, I'm not," and yes, you are. Yep. We'd have no Bible without Catholicism. We'd have no Protestants without Catholicism, because where do you think they came from? They were all Catholics, and some grumpy ones. And believe me, I get how you can be a grumpy Catholic at times. Not getting into that. It's not a perfect institution, although there are some aspects of it that are protected by heaven. That's a different discussion. But anyways, so that's what we're doing today. We're looking at the superpowers, the tools we need in order to communicate with our Father in heaven. Because that's the first most critical thing, going from, hey, I didn't know I was supposed to be like God. I didn't know I was made to be like God. Well, how do I do that? Well, this is the next step after you go, wow, awesome, I want that. Well, what do you do next? You talk to him about it. And he'll sort it all out. In the process, too, you find, channels like this and guys in your local community, pastors and priests and so on, that can be very helpful. Some of them can be not very helpful, depending on who you talk to. Not going to hang on to that right now. So bless them who aren't very helpful. So we got to talk we need to get this open door to heaven, right? We've covered all this ad nauseum. That's how we're designed. That's what he wants. And so we're going to go get it today. So we're going to do some more. We looked at humility being the first superpower, the first tool in the tool belt that we need. We need to humble ourselves before him before we give him a call, right? That's all praying is. It's just giving Dad a call. He's in the throne room getting some work done and doing his job, and Dad's at work, right? And we want to give him a call at work and say, hey, Dad, hey. No, I'm not. I don't need the keys to the car. No. I want to hang out. Can we spend some time, please? Can you work me into your schedule? Whenever's fine. Whenever I'll work around your schedule, Dad. Whatever you need, whenever you need it, I'm ready for you. Maybe just let me know. Send me a text. All right. Love you too. Bye. Communicating with heaven. Really? Okay, there could be a titch more reverence than that, or a lot more reverence, depending on how you want to look at it. But that's a good start. That's a good start, Because if we haven't ever talked to him before, he's talked to us our whole lives, but if we've never talked to him before, he's not going to be expecting a whole lot from us, right? He's not going to expect that you're going to understand all the who he really is and the nature of who he is and so on. He wants to reveal that to us. And he's going to do that through calling us back, sending an email, right? Sending us a voicemail or an angel, a messenger from heaven. That's what angel means. Yep. That's the definition of angel. Messenger from heaven, messenger from the sky, messenger from the heavens. So we were working on superpowers, the superpowers that God's going to give us: grace, humility, to be able to humble ourselves before and during the call that we make. The forgiveness aspect, we're not coming with bitterness towards his other kids, right? If you're a parent and you got two kids that are fighting with each other and there's bitterness, and one calls dad and says, "Hey, Dad, how's it going?" He's like, "Look, wait a second, why are you talking to me? You got this thing going on with your brother over there. You need to work that out." No, you need to work that out. That's all he's going to want to talk about. Go work that out. You work that out. Give me a call back. Yeah, as soon as you're done, give me a call back. Okay, bye. Really. When it comes to forgiveness, we've got to forgive everybody who's harmed us. That's the attitude. He wants us to have that attitude as we're coming to him. Because he's not going to be able to forgive us. And he's going to just be like, look, you're, as we just talked about. He's not going to be real happy. Now, he'll work something out, obviously, every time he wants to talk to us, but it's going to be in a way that we would rather it if we came to him and, had a forgiving mindset, forgiving as best we can and getting his help in all that. So, yeah, humility, forgiveness, 2 tools in the tool belt, super amazing tools in the tool belt, yeah. Superpowers, I like to call it that, because they really are. Look, if something comes into your mind, it's a person who harmed you, if you just immediately go, I forgive you, and you can say in Jesus' name, or because Jesus told me, or my father told me, and see it that way, watch power move. I'm not kidding. I do this all the time. I literally do this all the time, and it's fantastic. It's a superpower. How do I know? Because it is. It's what it literally. I do this all the time. When I learned this and I got this sorted out, it was incredible how the bitterness and the negativity and all that stuff that haunts you in your dreams, as you're trying to sleep and you're just like, I really want to murder that guy for what he did, and yeah. Instead, we just address it immediately and we just say, I forgive that person to the best of my ability. God, help me forgive that person. I forgive them because Jesus told me to. And watch things change. The freedom, the chains break, the bitterness dissipates. It's incredible. Yep. A little tip there on the forgiveness thing. That's from a personal side of things. Look, I got a list of people that I shouldn't be forgiving. Believe me, I'm justified. What those people did to me, I'm like, yeah, nope. I don't need to be forgiven them. They didn't even ask for forgiveness. And Jesus is like, no, you need to anyway. For my own sake. And for theirs too. Don't carry the bitterness. Let it go, right? Superpower. People get incredibly sick from bitterness. Mentally, physically, disease. If you ever seen the modern science stuff on body-mind relationships, our mind can make our body incredibly sick. That's some will say that's how cancer's instigated. It's a self-destructive mechanism, right? Anyways, moving on from that. That'd make a heck of an episode, though. Be worth looking at. Oh, I went down that rabbit hole once. Yep. So, okay, superpowers. Here we are today. We're looking at the third superpower, third power tool in our tool belt, right? Carpenter's building a house. What's the house? The house of God, right? Okay, we're looking at today. Guys, this is such good stuff. We're going to look, we're going to the Old Testament. That's what we're going to do. We're going to have a chat, a little listen to the prophet Micah. And we're looking at chapter 7, verse 7, but a little prelude to Micah. Micah was a prophet. We've talked about prophets before. What do? What's their job? They talk to God. They dialogue with him. They're like, Father, how's it going? Good. What do you need today? Well, I need you to go talk to so-and-so in the whole city, actually, and a whole bunch of them, and go talk to them and tell them, look, you need to stop what you're doing. You're making a mess. And then the prophet goes, okay, Lord, I got you. I read you loud and clear. Anything else? Okay. Well, I'll give you a ring when I'm done. Okay, I'll let you know how it goes. Thanks, Dad. Bye. Right. That's a prophet. Literally dialogues with God. That's his job. It's not a fun job, because most of the time it's clean up on aisle 9. And when you're going to talk to kings and, governors and all those folks, and you're telling them, look, what you're doing is wrong, well, you know how that goes. Okay. So we're listening to a prophet whose job was regularly to be dialoguing with God. Okay. Micah chapter 7, verse 7. And if you didn't know, this is around 800 BC, kind of around the same time as Isaiah. Just a little point of interest if you're interested in that stuff. Factoids. Micah chapter 7, verse 7. Verse 7 says, but for me, I will look to the Lord. I will wait for the God of my salvation. My God will hear me. Okay? Now, why we look at this today, let me just give you today's episodal title or something. It's hope / patience / perseverance. Those are all kind of similar, right? This is the power tool in our tool belt. I kind of like that. I think I'm going to go with that. Power tools in the tool belt. Micah, now this is a guy who talked to God, and sometimes God doesn't get right back to him. For whatever reason that God doesn't want to, he's like, nah, not right now. I'll get back to you, don't worry. So this is Micah talking about, the attitude that he has towards communicating with God, because that was his job. He did it all the time. What was his attitude? But for me, I will look to the Lord. I will wait for God, the God of my salvation. My God will hear me. That's the level, that's money in the bank for Micah's talking about. God will hear me. Why? Because he's coming with humility and forgiveness and the other power tools that we're going to talk about in the future. But today it's hope, patience, perseverance. It's the stick-to-itness, the go-get-itness, right? My God will hear me. So what are we getting out of this today? Well, we're wanting to communicate with our dad. This is what he was doing. And he was telling other people, well, for me, I'll look to the Lord. We won't get into the whole chapter and the wheres and the whys. I will wait for the God of my salvation before I do anything, say anything. I'm waiting for him to tell me what I need to do. I'm waiting for him. You stop telling me because I'm going to get it from him. My God will hear me. This is the stuff that's going to help us with our hope and our patience and our perseverance. Micah was talking with God. God wants to talk to all of us, as we proved all through the second series, all the receipts there. He's saying, God will hear me. It's money in the bank. I just got to wait. I'm going to wait. I'm going to bug him like the elderly woman to the worldly judge to get justice in the matter. Jesus was teaching us guys how to pray. Keep coming and keep coming and keep coming until you get your justice from the judge. Right? He's literally if you want to have a chat with our dad, you need to bug him, is what Jesus was saying in those verses. We covered that in the second series. All right, moving right along. Galatians chapter 6, verse 9. A little more encouragement on the subject of hope, patience, and perseverance, the power tool. Galatians chapter 6, verse 9. It's short, but it's sweet. Woo. Come on. Here we go. Verse 9. And let us not grow weary in well-doing or in righteousness. For in due season we shall reap if we do not lose heart. Hope, patience, perseverance on the subject of communicating with our dad. Just another little another thing to put a pin in. Come back to, study and meditate on Galatians chapter 6, verse 9. Say it again. And let us not grow weary in well-doing or in righteousness, in doing the right thing. Reaching out to dad. For in due season we shall reap if we do not lose heart. It's money in the bank, just like Micah, right? It's like, look, I sent a text, I'm just waiting on a reply. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. He's going to get back to us at the perfect time. And it's a good idea if we're in the right headspace when he does. Let me just say it that way. Humility, forgiveness. Then with a good attitude, patient, hopeful, persevering. Okay, here we go. First Chronicles 16, verse 11. This is great, short, sweet. Verse 11 says, seek the Lord and his strength, seek his presence continually. That's not bad. I think that's a good one. Seek the Lord and his strength, seek his presence continually. Yep. I like that. It's good. Paul says in another place, he says, pray continually. It's keep the lines of communication open, right? Keep the lines of communication open. Seek the Lord and his strength. We want his strength, right? His strength to do what? To become like him. Seek his presence continually. Let that sink in. I encourage you to take these verses and prayerfully meditate on them. Say, God, help me get the depth of this. And come back to them, and come back to them, and come back to them, and come back to them. You know, we really need this stuff to soak in. Yep. Okay. Man, that's so good. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 12 through, Hebrews 12, 1 through 3. Yes, that's what it is. Oh, this is good, y'all. Okay. Hebrews 12, verse 1. Here we go. Therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, that's the saints and the angels in heaven, let us also lay aside every weight and sin which clings so closely, and let us run with perseverance the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith, who, for the joy that was set before him, endured the cross, despising the shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God. Consider him who endured for sinners such hostility against him, so that you may not grow weary or faint-hearted. So that we may not grow weary and faint-hearted in what? Pursuing heaven, pursuing God, that open communication. Continually in his presence, praying continually. I should have had that verse today from Paul. Just thinking about it now. Oh, maybe we'll include it in the next one. This is an example of Jesus showing hope, patience, and perseverance. And his example to us is to so that we may not grow weary and faint-hearted. Because it gets hard sometimes. Something like God doesn't always get right back. That's just how it is. If you want a personal example, go to season 2, episode 7. I give an example of when I first started pursuing God in the ways that we're talking about today. This was back in 1997. I was 27 years old. It took a minute, months. Now, I had a ton of stuff while I was pursuing them, going all in, going the extra mile, just showing them a good attitude with hope and patience and perseverance. Hope and patience and perseverance. God, I know you can hear me, and I really want to talk to you. I want to have an open communication. I want to be in your presence continually, right? Seeking his strength. All the things that we're talking about today. I know, God, you're hearing me. Every single thing that I say, you can hear me, and you know you're omnipotent. But you're the king, and whenever you can get back to me, whenever, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. And then my job is just to wait, and then bug him again soon, and keep myself in a condition that he's going to want to talk to me, right? With faith. With hope, patience, and perseverance, humility, forgiveness, power tools in the tool belt. Yeah. So we may not grow weary or faint-hearted. Let's go back from verse 1. Therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, that's the angels and saints in heaven, let us also lay aside every weight, put off the stuff, shake it off. And sin that clings so closely, shake it off. Whatever's troubling us, whatever's getting in the way, whatever's going to cause faint-heartedness and weariness, shake it off. Just keep shaking it off. And let us run with perseverance the race that is set before us. What's the race? Becoming like Jesus. Looking to Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith. He's the perfecter. We're going to have perfect faith, y'all. Because he's in charge. And he wants to do that because we want him to. Who, for the joy that was set before him, endured the cross, despising the shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God. He's right there right now. Consider him who endured for sinners such hostility against him. Think about that stuff to encourage you. Think about what he had to go through. We can get through our stuff because look what he went through, which is the whole point of this section in Hebrews 12. So that you may not grow weary or faint-hearted. Because there's some waiting sometimes. I'm just telling you. I got other examples of my dialogues with heaven, and I'm going to share those at some point in the future too. There's some waiting involved. I'm just telling you. It's the way that this system is. It's the way that God likes to do things. And I know we have patience. I want patience, and I want it now. Thank you. Give me what I want, and no one will get hurt. I want patience, and I want it now. It doesn't work like that. Believe me, I've tested that theory, and no. I'm like, hey, how about now? If I can keep a good attitude and just keep waiting, say, how about now? How about now? Like the Verizon commercial, how about now? How about now? Just keep a good attitude as you're bugging them, kid. Don't get weary, don't get faint-hearted. Just how about now? How about now? Okay, I'll wait a minute. I'll be back. How about now? Literally, this is how he wants us to bug him. It makes him so happy when we do this. He's God. He wants to do it that way. Yes, sir, I'll do it that way for you. It is kind of fun. Because it literally could be at any second that we're not aware of and we don't know. He doesn't send us a heads up text before he calls us. Sometimes he doesn't. I know. He hasn't with me. He doesn't say, hey, I'm going to be reaching out in an hour. If you can just get ready for that, clear your schedule. No. Sometimes he will for folks, sometimes he has us go through purification processes to prepare because he really wants to get in and get some work done. And that's for real. Prayer and fasting and all that stuff. That's the asceticism side of things. We're not getting there today. But hope and patience and perseverance. Hope, patience, perseverance. This is the perseverance thing. Don't grow weary. Don't grow faint-hearted as we're reaching into the depths of where God's calling us. Just Jesus out in the water walking, going, come on, Peter. Come on. Come on. You could do it. Lord, if you say so. Come on, I say so. Come on. Yes, I'll take some of that. Peter's a great example. There was, different people have different things to say about Peter, I suppose. But he didn't really come off like he was a rocket scientist, like he was all that in a bag of chips. He wasn't like a Pharisee of Pharisees like Paul, like a deep intellectual, developed, not saying anything. Peter, bless you. Look, I don't know. I wasn't there. But it just, when you read it, he's cutting soldiers' ears off, as they're trying to get Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. Anyways, that's a sideline. Hope, patience, and perseverance. That's our power tool in the tool belt today. Thank you so much for coming today. I'm excited to do this. Hopefully you're excited that I do this. I love this. I love doing it. I used to do it a whole lot, especially with people sitting around. Big bunches, little bunches, all kinds of bunches. Now I'm doing it into a camera, which is a fascinating thing to happen. Hopefully the way I'm presenting this stuff isn't too irreverent. It's not the perfect word, but kind of what I mean. I don't want to come off like that. But thank you for coming today. Do all the things that we do on YouTube. Share and like and subscribe and all that stuff. Comment if you want to. And I will see you in the next episode. Hang on to your hats. Here we go.